Okay, so you need to trim the fat and get right to the meat or the heart of the matter. Think about when somebody's trimming a steak or cutting meat or something. They need to cut the fat out, and they got a thin layer of fat, or maybe no fat at all if they're eating lean, and they get right to the meat of something. If you're in family court, you don't want to get suckered to go way out on the deep end and drown out there in no man's land. What I'm getting to here is when you're in court, I just got done talking to somebody, and we were looking at the mom's declaration. So I'm in a consult with a guy, and I point out all the different things that violate the rules of evidence that him and his attorney should have pointed out to him. But the attorney, what something that I like to do, and I have an evidence rule video where I show people how I do it on YouTube. There's people on TikTok, there's people on Instagram. You don't get off your lazy ass and go over to YouTube where I got videos that are 10, 15, 20 minutes, an hour, hour and a half long. See, this is why I get frustrated with my gender. I got all this stuff that's served up for you free of charge, stuff that I never had in 2001 when I ended up getting full custody of my daughter. You guys got all kinds of stuff, and all it takes is for you to not be a lazy bum and just go and look for it. Or get a consult, and you'll save yourself hundreds and hundreds of hours of doing legal research. But you don't want to do that. You want to do everything else but that. So I have a video on this, but I also was talking to this guy. So we went through the mother's declaration. Or I was talking about some of it and telling how, like, what I like to do is I'll take a declaration and say she has a motion and a declaration. You need to respond. And then she gets to do a reply to your response, and then there's a hearing. So here's her motion. You're going to respond. In my response right here, I will take her motion and attach it as an exhibit. After I write and mark it up, and I circle this paragraph. This is all hearsay. ER, and I'll handwrite, circle, ER 802. ER 403. Danger of unfair prejudice. ER 402. Irrelevant. ER 702. Here she's acting like a child psychologist and talking about expert testimony. And then by the time we're done, there's like 2 paragraphs left. So what I'm doing, I'm trimming the fat and the waste, and I'm getting down to the heart and meat of the matter. So then all I got to do is argue the stuff that's relevant and allowed or relevant or admissible in court. So if you start arguing back and forth with like the he said, she said hearsay that's not even admissible in court. Let's say you start arguing with that. You're going off in la land and you're going back and forth. Well, she said this and I said this. And people love to like write an itinerary and a dateline. He said this at the visitation exchange and I said this. And you know, back when we were younger, they used to be not this angry. And then they became this angry. You're going way off on the deep end and you're putting the judge to sleep. And you're arguing about stuff that shouldn't even be allowed in court. You should have it thrown out so you don't even have to go there. Yet you want to spend all your time arguing and debating an irrelevant issue or something that's hearsay or something that doesn't matter in the end of things. You want to go and argue that and go way out in the deep end where they want you, going back and forth with some psychobabble, and you get the court lost or it convolutes everything because you're arguing some evidence that's not reliable, your word versus her word, hearsay, irrelevant stuff. And then back here, and I was telling the guy, you take out this, and, she's sitting there debating over their debate. They were arguing about health care about the kid, like what their protocol was, and she's actually neglecting the kid, and she's complaining the father wants this and the father wants that, and stuff that wasn't working. So they're debating about parental decision-making on health care. That's totally irrelevant to what was going on with the kid right now and her demand and attempt to want to get full custody and take his time away. Like every other week, he had half a week with the kid. And she wants to take it away. And if she wants to take it away, then she's got to, if she wants to take it away, she's got to come up with some legal standard or legal reason to take the kid away. And she's not focused on talking about or doing or saying anything that the court should be considering. And he's caught up in the decision making about the healthcare stuff. If she has an issue with that, she should be doing a contempt motion, not trying to take custody away or whatever. If she wants to take custody away, she's got to prove that he's abusive and he's crazy and stuff like that. And she has a self-incriminating statement in there, like a lot of women do. He's abusive. He's crazy. I need to take time away from him, and he only gets every other weekend, or he gets no overnights. So if he's abusive and crazy, why are you letting him around the kid at all? And it's just danger to the kid. So women will lie. They're so stupid. They will lie sometimes and say, he's so crazy, he's such a monster, his time should not be 50-50, it should be every other weekend. If he's a monster like you says he is, why do you want him around the kid at all? If my kid stays the night at a neighbor's and I find out they're watching porn in front of the kids, or one of the guy's a molester, he beats his wife, I'm not going to say, you know what, you can only go over there once every 3 months instead of like you go over there twice a month and stay the night. They're never going over there again. So instead of him focusing on that overwhelmingly obvious contradiction that shows she has no credibility and undermines it, like a lot of you, he had his paperwork written up and he was prepared to go in there and go tit for tat on the medical stuff and why this kid shouldn't have this med because it wasn't working, and do this protocol and go way off on the deep end. And then the court's going to be sick and tired of them arguing about some stupid stuff and just give her what she wants, because like, let me just give her what she wants to like get control in the situation. A lot of times they'll grant a woman custody or a restraining order to say, there's all this crazy conflict and chaos. Let me grant a restraining order to make peace in the situation. When what they should do is just grant an order saying, okay, only contact through family law wizards so there's a paper trail, and videotape each other at exchanges. That'll cause the behavior to change. But instead, they grant a protection order only against the father because they think that's the solution, because that's what they usually do. But back to my point, if he gets caught up in all this medical decision-making, what the protocol it is and what's right, then he's got to talk about all the science and medical history of why this protocol didn't work, and then talk about the medical records and this big voluminous argument about this stuff when she's talking about what he said and she said, and it's irrelevant, and it's a waste of time. Not ER 402 is irrelevant. ER 403 is, even if something's relevant, there's reasons to throw it out, and he has some ER 403 relevance. So if that's a total waste of time and energy, kind of like the last video I did when guys come on and tell me, hey, the court system is corrupt. Hey, women are abusing the system. Hey, guys are getting screwed. You want to waste all your time whining, crying, pissing, and moaning. I don't want to do that. I want to get down to solutions. So instead of going way out on the deep end and dragged out to deep waters where you guys are just going back and forth and she's muddying the waters with all this bullcrap, cut out all the bullcrap and get to the heart of the issue. I'm sitting in a parking lot somewhere. This whiny, cry, screaming woman they walked over there and they walked away, and she's whining and crying and nagging and screaming. And it's like, oh my God, how can somebody even be her friend? But trim the fat by objecting to stuff that violates the rules of evidence. When something violates the rules of evidence, it's not allowed in court. And I talk about this stuff every once in a while, and if guys were actually diligent in watching my videos, they would pick up on this. So now I got to do a video like this, re-emphasizing this stuff. You know, you guys could watch all my videos. I don't ever have to do a video ever again. And you could take all that information and figure this out on your own, because it's 100 times the information that I got when I got full custody. As a reminder, 2001, I got full custody of my daughter after a 7-month war when I was getting 0 visitation. The mother was trying to get a restraining order against me. I fought a restraining order at 2 different hearings. The first time I went to court, they gave me 0 visitation. I did a motion for revision from a family law commissioner to a judge, a mini appeal in Superior Court in King County. And I went from 0 visitation. Well, the first hearing, they continued it. Her attorney showed up. I need more time. So they're dragging it out. Didn't see my daughter for 40 days straight. She lives 3 blocks away from me. And all you guys are like, you don't know what I'm going through, James. I went exactly through what you're going through. Stop being a diva little bitch and being a narcissist and listen to what I'm saying. And get out of your little self-centered little diva world. I went through all that, and I got on the offensive, and I went to war, and I did this stuff, and I'm sharing it with you, and it works. But right now, you have 100 times the information I had back then when I was a warehouse worker who flunked out of college with no legal experience. So object to the stuff in the evidence rules. If your attorney won't do it, fire him. Don't give an excuse my attorney won't do it. You